I'm on the way to a ruined mansion called Ratcoffey Castle. It's really a fortified house, but it's known as Ratcoffey Castle. Originally here in the 12th century, there was a castle, a proper castle, called Wogan's Castle. All that remains of that today is the gatehouse. I'll show you that shortly. And when the castle was demolished, the grand house was built using the masonry. It's a gorgeous location. Little bit of a walk to it, up this trail. One thing about this location is that there was actually a film made here in 2002, the famous novel Count of Monte Cristo, and it was filmed all around Europe. They didn't pick Ireland for the sunny locations, obviously, but Powerscourt Waterfalls was his house, was the Count's house, and the finale was filmed here, which is actually a little unusual. I'll show you now because I don't know how the location scouts found this place, but you can't see this place from the road. It's actually on private land. I'll show you now, look. There's no visibility here from the road. But yeah, the finale's filmed here. And the film starred, among others, Richard Harris, Guy Pearce, Jim Caviezel, and what's your man's name from Superman? Amy, what's your man's name from Superman?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Amy thought he was gorgeous in the movie, and he was. He's always gorgeous, that shit. Anyway, like I said, there was a castle here in the 12th century, Wogan's Castle, and all that remains is the gatehouse, and the rest of the masonry and all from the demolished castle was used to build the mansion. I'll show you all this now. See the floor, there's been livestock in here. So here we are. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the vaulted ceilings. Absolutely incredible. Remains of a wall. You can kind of reconstruct this in your head a little bit. Fireplace. How do you know it's a fireplace? Because it has chimneys, and you can still see the smoke on the stones. If you look close, you can see where the plaster was on the walls. Look. So I think this would have been the main reception. People would arrive here, get off their horses, and I've seen this before. Look, if you wanted to see who was coming before CCTV, you had this to look out and see who's going to be there. Let's have a look. thickness of the walls, look. That wall must be 4 foot thick. Now look at this. How beautiful. I was here before and I couldn't figure out what this was. Not so much from this angle, but from around here. And then when I was thinking about it, it made sense. So, you have a very large fireplace here. I'd say this was maybe the main room. And then I had this pillar here, which didn't make much sense until you look at what's left. And if you look at what's left, this here is the remains of a wall. So I wouldn't have been able to see out here. This was a wall. So you kind of imagine it in your mind. So this is a wall. This is the room we're in here now. And this here, what the hell is this pillar? Well, if you look here, here's the remains of another wall. So this would have been a wall. So now what you have is, you have this room, you have a wall, and this here also would have been closed up. This would have been solid. So essentially looks like a wall. So we have a fireplace here, and what you would do is you would go into the second room, which is here, and this pillar is not a pillar. There's a wall, and here you have a fireplace for this place. Now do you know? Because there's your chimney again. So it's kind of cool. And I mentioned about the Count of Monte Cristo. At risk of copyright infringement, I'm going to go old school, put a bit on the TV and record it and put it in this video. And I'll show you this exact location. Hang on there for a second. So it's kind of a spoiler, this, but listen, I won't tell you what happens in the exact end. But anyway, here we have Jim Caviezel, Superman, I forgot his name again. He's here as well. Guy Pearce is down here. So let's just get this shot here and show you. This is exactly where they were. Now it's obviously tidied up, but it's pretty cool. When someone says to me, you should watch the Count of Monte Cristo, I think, forget about it. But believe me, it's great for them. Here we are. If you look here, here's the remains of a staircase. So up onto the floor, over, up, next floor. Long gone. Anything made out of wood is long gone. There's no record of this place having experienced the fire, but I'm pretty sure it did at some stage. Well, that's Rat Coffee. I love Rat Coffee. Amy's down there. She seen me turn the camera. She had to run away. So what I'll do, I'll go down and catch her. How's it going, Ames?
Hi.
I love that. Anyway, adios amigos. Hope you enjoyed. After this, I'm going to do the little film segment. I'm actually going to take some stills here, and I'll try to marry them up against the actual shots from the film. And it's on private land, so I won't tell you where it is, but it's called Rat Coffee Castle. That with Google Maps, that'll be enough. Adios. The following are screenshots from the movie. What I've tried to do is capture a scene when it was filmed and then marry it up against the same shot in the present. To get the exact location and angle, it's not that difficult, but when you're doing it, you see that cinema cameras and what I'm using are very different, like the depth of field is very different and so on, but some of them I think turned out pretty well, so I'm happy with them. The last one is included, although I wasn't going to include it, because it's just funny. You have to have a laugh, don't you? I noticed something when we were leaving. There's a crack the entire length of one of the gable ends. It's a bad crack as well. And I think that means that eventually when that goes, the whole front will go. And the front will go, the floors will go, and hopefully not. It's terrible the way these buildings are left just to rot and fall apart in this country, isn't it? It really is. It's a bloody shame. But hey, when I win the Euro Millions, I'll do something about it. Take it easy.